Hello and welcome in for another edition of the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill. I'm Jacob Brooks alongside Chris Cartman following ASU's first spring football practice. And Chris, Kenny Dillingham intentionally played "We Are the Champions" on repeat over and over and over again for the entire practice to try and send a message to the team that they need to move on from last year. He wants them to get tired of hearing about it. What do you think that did for the mindset of the players? Because they all had something to say about it.
Yeah, Kyson Brown called it psychological warfare. The players universally did not like hearing it. I don't think we enjoyed listening to the same song 30 times. That's the type of trickery that Kenny Dillingham does to try to mess with his players. He also said that Trenton Bourguet sent him a meme or something that said, you don't sail a sailboat on yesterday's winds. And so the point very clearly is that they want to force their players to move on from what they accomplished. Today wasn't really a sharp practice. Sam Levitt threw several interceptions. He said you got to get the timing right. But I think that these guys understand what's the task is at hand.
Now, building off of that, Chris, this spring practice for the first one, a little bit different than years past. A ton of returners and also a ton of new expectations following a Big 12 championship season. What do you think that's done to this roster?
Well, the leadership is cemented now between Levitt, Jordan Tyson, Xavier Alford, Ben Coleman, and others. These guys are returners. They understand what it takes to be a championship caliber team, and they're going to demand that of their players. They have almost all their defensive starters back, most of their offensive starters back. And so now it's about being player-led, as Levitt said, holding everybody into account and trying to make sure that they don't rest on their laurels of what they accomplished last year.
And now finally, Chris, obviously with a long offseason for college football, a ton of guys, they get in better shape, they put on more muscle, or they lose weight. What players do you think had the biggest differences and transformations from this offseason?
Right away I noticed Josh Atkins, left tackle, looks a lot lighter and leaner. He was ASU's best run blocker last year from a grade standpoint, despite being a little bit heavier than he wanted to be. He's down 15, 18 pounds. That's going to help him from a mobility standpoint and pass protection. Some young freshman defensive backs redshirted last year, needed to get a lot bigger, stronger. Tony Lewis and Kuba, 17 years old when he arrived. He's 20 pounds heavier. Chris Johnson's making the move from corner to safety. He's about 20 pounds heavier. There's a lot of other guys that I'm sure that we're going to notice some physical changes that have happened as we watch more of the practices, but those were three that jumped out right away.
Well, that's all for this edition of the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill. From Jacob Brooks and Chris Cartman, we're saying so long, and to keep up with all of our ASU spring football coverage, make sure to check out all of our Sun Devil Source socials and sundevilsource.com.